Hey there, my name is John Suscovich with Farm Marketing Solutions, and I have some of your questions here that I'm going to answer this week. I got 5 questions. We got 5 days this week. It is Monday, and we're starting off with Christopher Mills. And if you want to stay tuned to the end of this episode, I will show you how you can write in and get your question answered as well. So Christopher Mills asks, is it possible to raise chickens without buying feed? The answer is both yes and no there, and let's discuss both of those. Yes, you can raise a chicken without buying feed. It will live and will survive. They are descendant from jungle fowl, but don't take that as like, there's jungle fowl, they're meant to live out in the woods and forage and they can survive. Well, those jungle fowl are skinny, don't produce much meat, and don't produce many eggs, and are wild foraging, but aren't thriving in a way that is producing something that is feeding for your family. But if you want a chicken to produce meat for you, if you want a chicken to produce eggs for you, you need to supply it with a balanced feed ration. Now for broilers, on a good day, you'll get about 20% of their feed from the forage that they're gonna find, both between the bugs and the plants. And the rest of that 80% you're gonna wanna fill in with a balanced feed ration that's appropriate for their size, how they're growing, and for your specific area. Now, you also want to give them grit, and that grit size will depend on their age, and then you're going to get a productive meat bird by feeding it that supplemental feed. Now, if you have an egg layer, again, it'll live without buying in any feed, but you want to give it a balanced feed ration that's specific to egg layers. You want to give it the right size grit. You want to give it supplemental calcium once it starts laying those eggs. You don't want to give it calcium before it starts laying eggs, because then its organs will calcify and it will never produce anything. So yes, you can raise a chicken and have it live and not feed it supplemental grain where you're buying in feed. But if you want it to produce something for your farm or your homestead, you're gonna want to buy in feed. The only exception that I found to this is, I think it's Vermont Compost, or one of the composters up in Vermont. I think it's Vermont Compost. I should have looked it up before the video. The guy does a couple hundred egg layers, maybe 1,000 egg layers, that he runs them on his compost piles, and those compost piles, he's getting food from all of the neighboring towns and making compost out of it, running chickens on it. They're eating and scratching up and doing their thing. He's not counting on the egg production because he is producing compost, so it doesn't really matter how many eggs the birds produce, but they are living and his feed costs are nothing, and they're adding value into his compost system. So if you want for production, yes, you need to buy feed. If you want to just run an experiment on what a chicken can do, please do it humanely, and you can supply them with feed but not buy any in. I won't ever say not feed a chicken, because that just seems wrong to me. So if you want your question answered, go to farmmarketingsolutions.com, scroll to the bottom of the homepage so it's easy to find. You can send me a question there. It's easy for me to organize that way, and I can create videos. And number 2, which is gonna come out Tuesday, Will Lopez has a question: how do I reduce feed costs? And I have a bunch of good stuff from the APA conference on this, so stay tuned till tomorrow's episode where we'll be going over Will's question on how we reduce feed costs. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, I will see you out in the field.